Hey everyone, we're back with another book review. Dad, say hi.
Hi.
This time we read Gone Before Goodbye, and I picked this one because it's Reese Witherspoon's debut book with Harlan Coben, and Dad's a big fan, right?
Yes.
And I would say it was a success because you finished it like within a day.
Yes. Very quickly.
So let's start with Maggie, our main female protagonist. So she's a combat plastic surgeon, right? And she falls on hard times. She's just lost her husband. Her medical license got revoked. And she kind of gets in with the wrong people. Now, do you feel like she was a relatable protagonist?
I think so. I think she had several layers, and I think they did a good job of trying to make her a real person with problems and issues and emotion. I thought they did a really good job with her.
And for me, a lot of this book, there was a lot going on with the plot. I would describe it as busy. It's kind of like an action mystery thriller, like all combined in one. So were there certain points where you felt like confused, or did everything kind of flow?
I was comfortable with it. There definitely was a lot going on, a lot to keep up with, a lot of moving parts. But I thought they were all sort of interconnected.
Yeah.
Eventually, there were some parts that were sort of was a little bit lost, but then sort of made sense a couple of pages later. So, I mean, I like complicated plots. I like stories that you have to think, and it's not straightforward, and it's not easily predictable. So, I like the story.
There were a lot of characters. Were there any in particular that like stuck out to you?
My favorite was Pork Chop.
I knew you would like pork chop.
I mean, he basically lives the life he wants to live. The way he doesn't care what anybody thinks, and that's him. Take it or leave it. He's fierce to his friends and the people he loves, and you don't want to make him an enemy.
And he was straightforward.
He's very straightforward.
And he really did look out for Maggie, especially in the end, which I liked.
Yeah.
But my favorite was Sharon. I wish we got more of her. She was Maggie's sister.
Right. Yeah. There could have been. I mean, they talked about her a little bit, but they could have gone a lot of different directions with her that could have been interesting.
Yeah.
To know about. So
she
she's one of the few people I don't feel like I wanted to know more about. I agree.
Okay. Yeah. And I felt like there were a lot of themes in this book, in particular, when she's dealing with the Russian billionaires, especially like greed and wealth. So do you think
privilege?
Yes, exactly. So do you think the book was kind of like a statement on like materialism and overconsumption?
I mean, it's hard to say if that was their intent, but it clearly was there in many levels. That's just the way life is, Privilege get privileged treatment. That's just life.
The luxury was jarring for me at certain points.
But it's real. If you were a billionaire and an oligarch, that's real. That's not made up. So I think this book is easily relatable to like a movie or a TV show. I mean, it's in fact I think it's probably easier than reading a book.
I was thinking that too. I really think that this would make a good adaptation.
Yeah.
Especially on screen with all the action and stuff like that.
And special effects. Because some of the stuff they're describing, you have to come up with your own imagination of what that could look like, what it could feel like. But, you watch a movie, they're going to show it to you and give it to you. So, and they'll be much easier to accept.
Yeah. And for me, this was actually my first introduction to Harlan Coben. I haven't read any of his books. Do you feel like it was on brand with the way he usually writes, or was it a little bit different with Reese Witherspoon?
I mean, he writes books like this, and then he has his main character that the ex-basketball player, and so I think, it felt like it was a Harlan Coben book.
Yeah.
In many ways, he does a good job of giving you twists and turns and complicated plots and mysteries and trying to figure people out. Who's good, who's bad, who's doing what. So I felt comfortable with it. Wynn is one of my favorite characters.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, he's one. That's one of his characters in many of his other books that he writes a lot about.
What would you say your favorite part about this book is?
That's a tough question. I don't know if I could give a favorite part. I think what I like is the main character had problems.
Yeah.
Things didn't work out, but
Yeah.
then she still tried to figure a way out of it. And she still maintained her true identity, her true morality, her true centering of who she really was. That never got shook, no matter what happened. And you know, you have trying times, but you still have to be true to yourself. And I think she was, or she at least tried to be.
Yeah. That's true.
And I think Porkchop was true to himself. I knew he would have done something. I mean,
Yeah.
he just knew once he figures out what's going on.
He had a
wasn't
plan.
going to just sit there. Yeah. And I think at the end, the fact that they came together and agreed, listen, you all we got, you all I got. Let's,
Yeah.
you know, let's
I
sort
really
of
like the relationship.
give me the good and the bad. Don't hide
Yeah.
things from me, and I'll try not to hide things from you. So I think in many ways that was good. I think the technology part, the program that her sister gave her, was
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
I thought so too.
Kind of, you know, AI and all that kind of stuff. So you have to assume that whatever your imagination is gonna surpass that. So you
Yeah,
have to
that's
almost
true.
accept everything, and not act like, no, that can't be true. Come on, this is AI. It should be able to do almost anything in time. So I like the way they try to incorporate that, and then in the end, her deciding whether that was good for her or not.
So overall, would you say that it's generally a realistic book, or would you say there
I
are
didn't
some
have
parts?
a problem with it.
Okay.
I didn't have a problem with the book. I mean, I don't know what realistic means. You know, I'm sort of, you know, merging TV, movies, and books, and using the imagination and fiction. Could this have really happened today? Probably not. But it may be something that could happen in the future.
But I mean, at least it was very entertaining.
Absolutely, it
Yeah.
was. And I didn't think it was far-fetched. You
Yeah.
just have to sort of believe that future technology, this is potentially possible.
One
and
day.
there's no reason to not think that. Anybody
Yeah.
that thinks, no, it's not possible, hadn't been paying attention for the last 100 years, you know. So even though it's a little bit further than what it is today, but it could, you know, a couple of years from now, that could easily happen.
So there were a lot of morally gray characters. You know, at some points, I wasn't sure like who was supposed to be like the good
Problem
guy
is,
or the
we
bad
all
guy.
morally great people. You know,
Yeah.
We just have different gradations. Some people are clearly on the bad side. and
Yeah.
have some good features, and most people are good people, and every once in a while they do something that's questionable.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of them, and you had to sort of navigate your way through them. Are they your friend? Are they your enemy? Can you work with them? Can you not work with them? Do you need to stay away from them? Do you need to get close to them? But I recognize that early when you meet somebody. Like I told you before, you've met everybody you're ever going to meet in your whole life already.
He always says that.
They
to
just
me.
have different names. And once you figure out their personality or their motives, just, you know, merge the person you know from before, and you'll be able to predict what they're going to do next. So very few, again, I've been living longer than you, but you've lived long enough that I'm telling you, you've met everybody you're going to meet.
Yeah, that was my main issue with Nadia. I'm not going to get into spoilers because I don't want to give it away, but that's why she wasn't really
She
my
was the
favorite.
toughest one,
Yeah.
I think, for me to accept, but, you know, her upbringing was kind of different, you know?
Yeah.
You have to give some people grace when they didn't grow up the way you did. Their experiences
That's
weren't the
true.
ways, and you don't know how that shapes your personality, shapes your motives.
Yeah.
You know, so I decided, you know, whatever. I accept whatever you decide. I wouldn't have done it, but, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of stuff, but that's okay. Who would you recommend this book to? Like, what kind of reader do you think would enjoy
I
this
think
story?
that's what's interesting. You know, you said you had some struggles with it, but you know, a guy like me that likes thrillers and shooting and killing and all that kind of stuff and murder mysteries, I love those, and those
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with those. But you know, Reese Witherspoon's input in this has that sort of softer side.
That's what I like
You know,
about it.
that you can
Yeah.
somebody who, you know, I'm in a book club also with a bunch of women, and that's all we read is those kinds of books. And you can relate to her in that regard. So I think there's very few people that I wouldn't be able to say, look, this may be a good book for you.
I also liked how she discusses feminism. I think she does a really good job of that through, you know, Maggie's perspective and Nadia's perspective and just in general.
I like strong women. You know
Yeah.
that already. I love books.
That's why I picked this book for
The
us.
toughest books for me is when women are completely victimized and at some point don't stand up for themselves and take
Yeah.
control. And so I thoroughly enjoyed the book. You know, your mom is a strong woman. My mother was a strong woman. So I enjoy those kind of books. I'm comfortable with those kind of books.
Finally, what would you say your overall rating?
I would give it as high as an A-. I really liked it.
You guys, that's really good for him.
Yeah, I don't do that often.
He really does
I
it.
think the way I judge a book is if 6 months from now I think of something and
Yeah.
try to sort of turn it around in my head, or sort of realize something that I kind of missed before, and I have to sense this book that I'll do it a few times, and sort of think about what they were doing, what they were thinking, what the motives were, and what really happened. The worst books are the one you finish and you never think about.
And then you
again.
forget about it.
That's not a good book. I don't care
Yeah.
what. Or I wasn't a good reader. I don't want to judge the book. It just didn't. It didn't impact me.
Yeah.
I think this book, on many levels, I think.
There's definitely a lot to think about. Hopefully, maybe we can get some kind of sequel or an adaptation in the future.
Again,
I don't know.
They need to make a movie out of this.
Yes.
I think it'll work really well with a movie. You
And she
just
has
have
her
to-
own production company.
I didn't know that.
So,
Okay.
you know, it's a realistic
I know
possibility.
you told me Reese Witherspoon is
Yeah.
one of your favorite people.
Yeah.
And she has a book club. I've never
Yeah.
joined it or
No, but
read
okay,
any-
but we've read a lot of her books, is what you don't know. In her
from the book club.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You remember, you choose all the books. I
Yeah.
have to read what you tell me to read.
Yeah.
So that's okay. It's good for me though.
Well, thank you for reading this book with me.
I do whatever you tell me. I tell you that already.
And thank you guys for watching.